Hi, welcome back to the channel. This question will help us understand how to treat distance between 2 points. Let's see the question. The question says the coordinates of P and Q are 4, 3, 2, and minus 1, respectively. Find the shortest distance between P and Q. Now, the first thing I want us to do is to draw the diagram. Let's go to the Cartesian geometry. This is my y-axis, and this is my x-axis. P is on, this is P, and this is Q. Now, let me mention this. You can attend to this in one of two ways. Either you can use the formula or you can use the Cartesian geometry. I want to use the Cartesian geometry, after which we also use the formula. We'll see we arrive at the same thing. Now, on the Cartesian geometry, I have my x-axis is on 4 and 2. So let's start this. This will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. But my y lies between 3 and minus 1. So if this is 1, 2, here is 3, then I'll consider the negative axis because I have minus 1 there. This is minus 1. Obviously, this is general 0. Here is minus 1 on the x-axis, minus 2 on the x-axis. Let's say this is minus 2 also on the y-axis. So the first point P is at 4 and 3. 4 on the x-axis and 3 on the y-axis. Now these points are very important if you want to use the Cartesian geometry. So this is point P. Point P is at 4 and 3. Now let's pick point Q. Point Q is at 2 on the x-axis and minus 1 on the y-axis. So here is my minus 1 on the x-axis, on the y-axis. So this is point Q. Point Q is at 2 and minus 1. So that from here, I can draw my line this way. Now, I'm to find the distance between P and Q. Now, but if you pick this, you can draw this downwards this way. And you see that I have formed a triangle. Now, the sketch here is a triangle. Let me draw it out clearly. Here is a right-angled triangle. This is a right-angled triangle. Now, for me to find the distance between these points, P and Q, from point P, let's tag this tip of the triangle here. Let's target point O. From point P to point O, on the y-axis, this is 3, and here is minus 1. So, I'll tag this as 3. That will be 3 minus 1. That's the same thing as 4. So this side will have a value of 4. And for me to find this value for on the x-axis, if you look at point Q to O, at the x value here is 4. Here is 4. And at this point here, I have this point here to be 2. So obviously this is going to be 4 minus 2, which is equal to 2. So the length here for this part of the triangle will be 2. Now let's redraw it so that I can draw the triangle out here. Here is 4 and here is 2. So that I'm left to find PQ. This is side PQ. Now my PQ, obviously from Pythagoras theorem, will come from 2 squared. This is P, O, and this is, okay, sorry, this is P, and this is Q. This is Q. Will come from Q, O, all squared, plus, this is squared here, PQ squared will give us QO all squared plus PO all squared. So that PQ all squared will be the same thing as 2 squared plus 4 squared, which is the same thing as 4 plus 16. Now, PQ squared is the same thing as 20. Now, to find PQ, all I need to do is find the square root of both sides. So that PQ will be equal to the square root of 20. And the square root of 20, PQ is obviously equals to, the square root of 20 is 2 root 5. That's 2 root 5. You can use your calculator to easily resolve that. With this, I hope you understand the first method. Now, let's quickly see the second method to approach this, where I'll be using the formula. Now, here we'll be using the formula. The formula says that my side PQ will come from the square root of y2 minus y1 all squared plus x2 minus x1 all squared. If I'm taking my side P to be the first side, my 1, so that if I have 4 and 3, obviously this will be my x2 and this will be my y2. Then I'll take Q to be the second side. I have 2 and minus 1. This obviously will be my x1 and this will be my y1. Now let's impute. This is quite faster, so that PQ now will be the square root of y2 is 3 minus 1 all squared plus x2 is 4 minus 2 all squared. So that PQ now will be the square root of 4 squared plus 2 squared. PQ will be the square root of 16 plus 4, which is equals to square root of 20. Now, PQ is the same thing as 4 or 2 root 5, which is the same thing. It's just the same thing, but this is faster because we apply the formula directly. With this, I hope you understand how to find the distance between 2 points. Thank you and see you in our next class.